Hello. Let's talk about one of the sweetest, most emotional, and heart-opening transits we're about to experience. Venus enters Cancer on May 18th and will remain there until June 13th. And when that happens, love becomes softer, feelings become stronger, and connection starts to feel a lot more personal. Venus rules love, relationships, beauty, pleasure, money, attraction, and what we value. Cancer rules emotions, home, memory, nurturing, protection, and the private parts of the heart. So when you put them together, this is a transit of emotional bonding, deeper affection, tenderness, and wanting to feel truly safe with the people we love. This is romantic, sensitive, protective. This is the kind of energy that reminds us that love is not only about excitement, it is also about care. Think. Wanting more emotional closeness in relationships, feeling more nostalgic, sentimental, or drawn to the past, craving comfort, affection, reassurance, and quality time, paying more attention to home, food, memories, and emotional security, being more selective about who gets access to your heart. This energy does not want something shallow. It wants sincerity. It wants warmth. It wants to know that love is safe enough to relax into. But because Cancer is such a sensitive sign, this transit can also bring moodiness, old feelings, emotional triggers, or the desire to pull back when something does not feel secure. So during Venus in Cancer, we may be learning a lot about how we give love, how we receive love, and where we still need more emotional honesty. This transit is going to affect everyone differently, depending on what part of your life Cancer rules in your birth chart. So let's break it down sign by sign. And if you want to understand your own chart more deeply, please book a consultation and visit the Rising Path website. Also, if this video helps you, please like and subscribe to the channel. For Aries Rising, Venus entering Cancer moves through your fourth house. And this brings the energy of love, beauty, comfort, and emotional healing into the most private part of your chart, your home, your family life, your inner world, and the place inside you where you go when you need to feel safe. Aries Rising is usually known for being bold, direct, independent, and ready to move forward. You do not always like sitting with feelings for too long. You may prefer action over emotional processing because action gives you a sense of control. But with Venus in Cancer, life may slow you down a little. Not in a negative way, more like a gentle invitation to come back home to yourself. During this transit, your heart may crave softness more than excitement. You may want more peace in your living space, more closeness with loved ones, more emotional reassurance, and more time away from noise, pressure, and outside expectations. This can be a beautiful time to improve your home. You may feel inspired to redecorate, clean, organize, make your space more beautiful, cook more, rest more, or create an environment that actually supports your emotional well-being. Because Venus here is not only about romance. It is about comfort. It is about belonging. It is about asking, where do I feel emotionally held? For some Aries rising people, this can bring sweeter moments with family, a parent, relatives, or people who feel like family. Conversations may soften. Old tension may become easier to address. You may feel more forgiving, more sentimental, or more aware of how much your past has shaped what you need in love now. But this transit can also reveal where home does not feel peaceful. If something in your private life has been emotionally heavy, Venus in Cancer may show you what needs more care. Not through drama, but through sensitivity. You may notice what feels cold, distant, unstable, or lacking emotional warmth. And in relationships, this can make you more protective of your heart. You may not be impressed by someone who only brings excitement but no emotional depth. You may want consistency. You may want tenderness. You may want someone who makes you feel safe enough to put down the armor. For Aries Rising, that is powerful. Because your chart begins with Mars energy. You are used to leading with strength. But Venus in Cancer reminds you that vulnerability is not weakness. Sometimes the strongest thing you can do is admit what you need. In love, this can be a very intimate transit. You may want more private time with a partner, deeper emotional conversations, more affection, or a stronger sense of loyalty. If you are single, you may feel drawn to people who feel familiar, nurturing, emotionally available, or connected to your roots in some way. Just be mindful of reacting from old wounds. Cancer energy has a long memory, and with Venus here, feelings from the past can rise back up. An old relationship pattern, a family story, or a childhood emotional need may become more obvious. The goal is not to live in the past, but to understand what your heart has been carrying. Money-wise, this can be a good time to spend on the home, family needs, comfort, food, beauty, furniture, or anything that makes your life feel more peaceful. But watch emotional spending. If you are buying things just to soothe a feeling, pause and ask what you really need. The gift of this transit is emotional nourishment. Venus in Cancer is helping Aries Rising reconnect with the softer foundation underneath all that courage. Before you chase the next goal, win the next battle, or move toward the next adventure, this transit asks you to check in with your heart. Do you feel supported? Do you feel safe? Do you feel at peace in your own space? Because when your inner world is calm, your outer confidence becomes even stronger. So for Aries Rising, Venus in Cancer is not just about romance. It is about healing your relationship with home, family, safety, and emotional closeness. Let love be simple during this transit. Let comfort matter. Let your heart receive care without feeling like you have to earn it. And if you want to understand your own chart more deeply, please book a consultation and visit the Rising Path website. Also, if this video helps you, please like and subscribe to the channel. Taurus Rising, Venus entering Cancer moves through your third house, and this brings sweetness, warmth, and emotional intelligence into the way you speak, think, learn, write, listen, and connect with the people around you. This is a beautiful transit for your voice. Not only your physical voice, but your emotional voice. The part of you that knows how to say something gently, how to choose the right words, how to make someone feel understood, and how to turn a simple conversation into something meaningful. Taurus Rising is already ruled by Venus, so whenever Venus changes signs, you tend to feel it more personally. But in Cancer, Venus is not asking you to perform, impress, or prove anything. She is asking you to communicate from the heart. During this transit, your daily interactions may feel softer. You may become more affectionate in your words, more thoughtful in your messages, and more sensitive to the emotional tone behind what people say. A short text may carry more meaning. A conversation with a sibling, neighbor, friend, or someone close to your daily life may become more important. A casual exchange may reveal what someone has really been feeling. This is a wonderful time for repairing communication, especially if something has felt distant, awkward, or unsaid. Venus in Cancer helps you speak with kindness, but also with honesty. Not cold honesty, not blunt honesty, emotional honesty. The kind that says, this is what I feel, without needing to attack anyone. For love and relationships, this transit can make attraction grow through conversation. You may be drawn to someone who feels emotionally safe to talk to, someone who remembers small details, someone who checks in, someone whose words feel comforting instead of confusing. If you are already in a relationship, this is a good time to say the tender things you may usually keep inside. Taurus Rising can sometimes show love through loyalty, consistency, touch, and presence. But Venus in Cancer reminds you that words can also be a form of affection. Say what you appreciate. Say what you miss. Say what you need. Say what you have been holding in your chest, because you assumed the other person already knew. This transit can also be very creative. The third house rules writing, ideas, content, teaching, learning, social media, short videos, podcasts, messages, and the everyday flow of information. With Venus here, your words may become more poetic, soothing, persuasive, or emotionally appealing. So if you create content, write, speak, teach, sell, promote, or share your ideas publicly, this is a lovely period to use your voice with more feeling. People may respond not only to what you say, but to the emotional quality behind it. However, Be mindful of taking everything too personally. Cancer energy is sensitive, and in your third house, you may notice tone, silence, delayed replies, or small changes in communication more than usual. You may read between the lines, and sometimes you may read a little too much. So before assuming the worst, pause, ask, clarify. Do not let a mood become a story in your mind before you know the truth. This transit may also bring pleasure through small trips, familiar places, local cafes, walks through your neighborhood, visits with siblings, or returning to places that hold memories. You may feel more nostalgic, more connected to your environment, or more aware of how much your surroundings affect your peace. Financially, Venus in the third house can support money through communication, writing, teaching, sales, marketing, networking, online work, or local connections. A conversation could open a door. A message could bring an opportunity. A simple idea may become more valuable than you expected. The deeper lesson for Taurus Rising is that your voice has power when it comes from emotional truth. You do not have to make everything sound perfect. You do not have to hide behind silence. You do not have to wait until you have the flawless sentence before saying what matters. Sometimes one honest, gentle conversation can change the entire feeling between two people. So with Venus in Cancer, let your words become softer without becoming weaker. Let your mind rest from overthinking. Let your conversations carry warmth. Reach out to the people who feel like home. Because for Taurus Rising, this transit is reminding you that love does not always arrive through grand gestures. Sometimes love sounds like a message at the right time, a memory shared, a kind sentence, a voice that says, "I'm here." And if you want to understand your own chart more deeply, please book a consultation and visit the Rising Path website. Also, if this video helps you, please like and subscribe to the channel. Gemini Rising, Venus entering Cancer lights up your second house, the part of your chart connected to money, income, self-worth, personal values, possessions, comfort, and the kind of stability that helps you breathe a little easier. And for you, this transit is important because it brings the question back to value. Not just what you earn, not just what you own, but what you believe you deserve. Gemini Rising is quick, curious, adaptable, and mentally active. You can move through life by thinking fast, adjusting quickly, and staying open to options. But Venus in Cancer slows the pace and brings your attention to something more emotional, your need for security. You may start asking yourself, does this actually make me feel safe? Does this support me? Does this reflect who I am becoming? This can be a very good period for money, especially if you are willing to handle your finances with care instead of impulse. Venus in the second house can bring opportunities to attract income, improve your relationship with money, or make your life feel more comfortable. But because Cancer is emotional, your spending may also become more connected to mood. You may want to buy things for the home. You may crave beautiful food, cozy objects, sentimental items, clothes that make you feel protected, or anything that gives you a feeling of emotional softness. There is nothing wrong with enjoying comfort. The key is to notice whether you are investing in peace or trying to purchase reassurance. This transit can also make you more aware of your body and your senses. Gemini energy can live so much in the mind that the body becomes an afterthought. But Venus in Cancer says, come back into your skin. Eat well. Rest. Create a rhythm that nourishes you. Pleasure becomes grounding now. Beauty becomes medicine. Simplicity becomes attractive. In relationships, Venus in your second house can show you how much self-worth affects love. If you have been accepting less than you need, ignoring your emotional standards, or trying to stay flexible in situations that actually make you feel insecure, this transit may bring that into focus. Cancer does not want detached affection. Cancer wants care. Cancer wants loyalty. Cancer wants to know that love has a place to land. So during this transit, you may feel less interested in people who are exciting but unreliable. Someone may have great chemistry with you, but if they disturb your peace, your body may notice before your mind admits it. For Gemini Rising, that is a big lesson. Not every interesting connection is nourishing. Not every conversation deserves access to your emotional energy. Not every possibility is worth your peace. Venus in Cancer helps you refine your values, especially around love. You may realize you want someone who is kind in practical ways, someone who remembers what matters to you, someone who makes life feel warmer, not more unstable. If you are in a relationship, this can be a lovely time to talk about money, shared comfort, emotional needs, and what makes both of you feel valued. Small gestures may mean more now than dramatic declarations. Cooking together, giving thoughtful gifts, spending quiet time, or creating a more peaceful routine can bring closeness. If you are single, attraction may come through someone who feels calm, familiar, nurturing, or emotionally steady. You may be less impressed by clever words alone and more moved by consistency. Creatively, this can be a productive transit too. Venus rules beauty, and in your money house, your artistic taste, ideas, voice, or creative skills may have financial potential. A talent you have underestimated could become useful. Something you enjoy may deserve more respect. Something you do naturally may be worth more than you have been charging for it. So do not undervalue yourself. Do not make yourself cheaper, smaller, or easier to accept just because you are afraid someone may walk away. Venus in Cancer is teaching Gemini Rising that emotional security begins with self-respect. When you know your value, you do not need to chase validation. When you trust your worth, you stop negotiating with situations that leave you hungry. When you take care of your own foundation, love becomes something you choose, not something you cling to. So use this transit to build softness around your life. Protect your peace. Spend with intention. Choose people who feel emotionally generous. And remember that your worth is not measured by how entertaining, available, clever, or useful you can be to others. You are valuable even when you are quiet. You are valuable even when you need care. You are valuable even when you choose yourself. And if you want to understand your own chart more deeply, please book a consultation and visit the Rising Path website. Also, if this video helps you, please like and subscribe to the channel. Cancer Rising. Venus entering Cancer moves through your first house. So this transit is not happening in some quiet corner of your chart. It is happening through you. Your presence, your appearance, your confidence, your magnetism, your body language, and the way people experience your energy all become more noticeable during this period. Venus in the first house can make you more attractive, more charming, more approachable, and more aware of how you are being received. But because this is happening in Cancer, the attraction is not loud or flashy. It is softer, warmer, more emotional, more intimate. People may be drawn to your sensitivity, your gentleness, your nurturing energy, or the feeling that there is something comforting about being around you. You may also feel more connected to your own beauty in a personal way. Not beauty as performance, not beauty as pressure, but beauty as self-care, beauty as softness, beauty as feeling good in your own skin again. This is a lovely time to refresh your look, take better care of your body, change your hair, update your style, wear colors that make you feel emotionally good, or simply treat yourself with more tenderness. And for Cancer Rising, this can be healing because you often absorb so much from the world around you. You can feel the moods in a room. You can sense when someone is upset. You may carry emotional weight that does not even belong to you. But Venus moving through your first house reminds you that your energy matters too. Your comfort matters. Your happiness matters. Your needs are not an inconvenience. In relationships, this transit can bring more attention your way. People may reach out more, compliment you more, notice you more, or want to be closer to you. If you are single, this can be a beautiful time for attraction, dating, and meeting someone who responds to your emotional depth rather than asking you to hide it. If you are already in a relationship, Venus in your sign can help you reconnect with your own desires. Not only what the other person needs, not only how to keep the peace, not only how to make everyone feel cared for. What do you want? What makes you feel loved? What kind of affection actually reaches your heart? That is an important question now, because Cancer energy can give and give until it quietly starts to feel unappreciated. Venus in your first house is not asking you to become selfish. It is asking you to become more honest about your own emotional needs. This transit may also make you more sensitive than usual. But that sensitivity can be a gift when you know how to protect it. You may feel more romantic, sentimental, creative, nostalgic, and tender. Music may hit deeper. Memories may come back stronger. Certain people may feel more meaningful. Certain places may feel like they are calling you back. But be careful not to confuse emotional intensity with emotional truth. Just because something feels strong does not mean it is healthy. Just because someone feels familiar does not mean they are safe. Just because your heart remembers something does not mean you have to return to it. Venus in Cancer can bring beautiful emotional openings, but it can also tempt you to romanticize the past. Let the past teach you, but do not let it pull you back into an old version of yourself that you have already outgrown. This is also a good transit for creativity, personal branding, visibility, and presenting yourself in a more authentic way. If you are building something, sharing your work, showing your face, or allowing people to know you more personally, Venus supports you now. The key is not to imitate anyone else. Your power comes from being sincere. Cancer rising does not need to become colder, louder, or harder to be respected. Your gift is emotional intelligence. Your gift is care. Your gift is the ability to make people feel something real. So during Venus in Cancer, let yourself be seen without armor. Receive compliments without deflecting them. Ask for love without apologizing. Let beauty come from softness, not perfection. This is a moment to return to yourself with kindness, to remember that you are not just here to protect everyone else's heart. You have one too, and it deserves warmth, romance, attention, pleasure, and care. And if you want to understand your own chart more deeply, please book a consultation and visit the Rising Path website. Also, if this video helps you, please like and subscribe to the channel. Leo Rising, Venus entering Cancer slips into your 12th house, which is one of the quietest, most mysterious, and most spiritually sensitive parts of your chart. So this transit may not arrive with loud romantic fireworks or obvious attention from the outside world. It works more privately. It moves behind the curtain. It touches the feelings you do not always show, the desires you keep hidden, the memories you have tucked away, and the emotional patterns that quietly shape how you love. Leo Rising is usually connected with confidence, warmth, creativity, visibility, and the need to live from the heart. There is a natural brightness to this rising sign. You are meant to shine in some way. But Venus in Cancer is not asking you to perform your light for anyone. It is asking you to protect it. This is a transit for emotional retreat, healing, closure, forgiveness, and deeper self-compassion. You may feel more private about love during this period. You may need more space, more rest, more silence, or more time alone to understand what your heart is actually feeling. Some emotions may rise without warning. A memory, a dream, a song, a place, or a conversation may open something inside you that you thought was already settled. This is not necessarily a bad thing. Sometimes the heart brings things back up because it is finally safe enough to release them. Venus in your 12th house can also bring hidden affection. Someone may admire you quietly, feelings may develop behind the scenes, or a relationship may feel private, complicated, or not fully ready to be shown to the world. If something romantic appears during this transit, take your time. The 12th house can be beautiful, but it can also blur boundaries. You may be seeing someone through emotion, memory, fantasy, or hope. So stay gentle, but stay awake. Do not ignore red flags just because the connection feels soulful. Do not rescue someone because you mistake their need for intimacy. And do not make yourself emotionally available to people who only love you in secret, in confusion, or when it is convenient for them. This transit can be deeply romantic, but it asks for emotional honesty. For Leo Rising, Venus in Cancer may also soften your relationship with yourself. You may realize how much pressure you have placed on yourself to stay strong, stay bright, stay generous, or stay impressive, even when you were tired. But love does not always need you to be dazzling. Sometimes love is letting yourself rest. Sometimes beauty is canceling the noise. Sometimes healing begins when you stop trying to be everything for everyone. This can be a beautiful period for spiritual practices, therapy, journaling, meditation, prayer, creative solitude, music, sleep, dream work, or any private ritual that helps you return to emotional peace. Your creativity may become more intuitive now. You may create from memory, grief, longing, compassion, or imagination. Something very tender can come through when you are not forcing it. Venus in the 12th house can also reveal where you have been giving love without receiving enough in return. It may show you where you have romanticized someone, waited too long, sacrificed too much, or confused emotional intensity with emotional availability. But this is not a punishment. It is a cleansing, a quiet removal of what has been draining your heart. If a chapter is ending, let it end softly. You do not need a dramatic exit. You do not need to prove how much it hurt. You do not need to turn pain into a performance. You only need to listen to the truth your spirit has already been whispering. Some Leo rising people may feel more nostalgic during this transit, especially around family, childhood, past love, or old emotional attachments. If the past returns, ask yourself why. Is it returning because it belongs in your future, or because there is still something inside you asking to be understood? That difference matters. The gift of Venus in Cancer for you is private healing. It is the kind of love that does not need applause, the kind of beauty that grows in quiet places, the kind of tenderness that helps you forgive yourself for not knowing then what you know now. By the time Venus leaves Cancer, you may feel lighter, softer, and more emotionally clear. You may not be ready to announce a new chapter yet, but something inside you will know that an old one is fading. So let this transit be sacred. Rest when your heart asks for rest. Protect your peace. Pay attention to dreams, instincts, and subtle feelings. And remember, Leo Rising, your light does not disappear when you step away from the stage. Sometimes it becomes even stronger when you give it time to recover. And if you want to understand your own chart more deeply, please book a consultation and visit the Rising Path website. Also, if this video helps you, please like and subscribe to the channel. Virgo Rising, Venus in Cancer brings her softness into your 11th house, the area of friendships, community, social circles, future plans, collaborations, audiences, and the people who remind you that life is not meant to be carried alone. This is not the loud, dramatic kind of Venus transit. It is more like a door opening, a message from someone who feels familiar, a friend who checks in at the right moment, a group space where you suddenly feel welcomed, a dream for the future that starts feeling possible again because the right people are around you. Virgo Rising often moves through life with a strong sense of responsibility. You notice what needs fixing. You see the details. You know when something is not working, and many times you become the person who quietly holds everything together. But Venus in Cancer reminds you that support should not be one-sided. You are allowed to be cared for too. During this transit, friendships may become sweeter, more emotionally honest, or more meaningful. You may feel drawn to people who feel safe, gentle, protective, creative, or emotionally intelligent. Surface-level networking may not satisfy you now. You want real connection. You want people who remember your heart, not just your usefulness. This can be a beautiful time to reconnect with old friends, especially people who knew you before you became so hard on yourself. Someone from the past may return, or a friendship may soften after distance. A conversation could bring warmth, closure, or a renewed sense of belonging. But this transit can also show you where certain social connections no longer nourish you. Virgo Rising can sometimes stay available to people out of habit, duty, or guilt. You may keep showing up, keep helping, keep responding, keep trying to be reasonable, even when the relationship has stopped feeling emotionally mutual. Venus in Cancer asks a simple question. Who feels like home? Not who needs you. Not who benefits from your advice. Not who appears friendly but leaves you drained. Who actually makes your nervous system relax. That is the difference now. In love, this transit can bring romance through friends, social media, group spaces, community events, online connections, or shared causes. Someone may begin as a friend and slowly become something more. Or you may realize that emotional friendship is exactly what has been missing from your romantic life. For Virgo Rising, attraction may grow when someone respects your mind, but also softens your self-criticism. Someone who does not rush you. Someone who notices your effort. Someone who makes you feel emotionally included instead of analyzed, tested, or taken for granted. If you are already in a relationship, this is a good period to reconnect through shared dreams. Talk about the future, but do it with heart. What kind of life are you building together? What communities do you want to belong to? What friendships support the relationship, and which ones create tension or distance? This is also a strong creative and professional transit if you work with an audience, clients, students, followers, teams, or community spaces. Venus in your 11th house can make people more receptive to you. Your warmth becomes part of your influence. Your sensitivity becomes part of your intelligence. You do not have to sound perfect. You do not have to polish every idea until it loses its life. Sometimes people connect with you more when they feel the human being behind the work. Financially, this transit can bring support through friends, referrals, collaborations, online work, group projects, or community-based opportunities. A connection may lead to something useful. A person may open a door. A shared vision may become more valuable than you expected. But be mindful of overgiving in groups. Do not become the emotional manager of everyone's problems. Do not take on the unpaid labor of keeping every friendship, project, or community together. Your kindness is a gift, but it still needs boundaries. The deeper medicine of Venus in Cancer for Virgo Rising is belonging without performance. You do not have to earn your place by being helpful. You do not have to prove your value by solving everything. You do not have to shrink your needs so other people feel comfortable. The right people will not only appreciate what you do, they will care about how you feel. So let this transit bring you closer to the friends, communities, and dreams that nourish your spirit. Say yes to invitations that feel emotionally safe. Let yourself be included. Let yourself receive kindness without immediately trying to repay it. And if one of your future dreams has felt distant, this may be the moment where you remember that you do not have to reach it alone. Sometimes the next chapter begins with the right conversation, the right circle, the right person saying, "I see you. Come sit with us." And if you want to understand your own chart more deeply, please book a consultation and visit the Rising Path website. Also, if this video helps you, please like and subscribe to the channel. Libra Rising, Venus entering Cancer moves through your 10th house, the highest point of your chart. This is the area of career, reputation, visibility, public image, long-term goals, authority figures, and the direction your life is moving toward. And because Venus is your chart ruler, this transit is not just background energy for you. You may feel it personally, especially in how you are being seen, received, respected, and valued by others. With Venus in Cancer at the top of your chart, your public image can soften in a beautiful way. People may respond more warmly to you. Your work may feel more appreciated. Your presence may become more magnetic, not because you are trying harder, but because there is more sincerity coming through. This is a good transit for professional relationships, client work, creative projects, visibility, branding, and making your work feel more emotionally connected. If you have a website, portfolio, social media page, business, or public platform, this can be a good time to polish it, beautify it, and make it feel more aligned with who you are now. But Cancer does not only care about looking successful. Cancer cares about feeling safe. So Venus in your 10th house may bring up important questions about your path. Are you building something that truly nourishes you, or something that only looks good from the outside? Are you choosing goals because they feel meaningful, or because they keep other people impressed, comfortable, or satisfied? Libra Rising is naturally aware of image, harmony, balance, and presentation. You often know how to make things look graceful, how to handle people diplomatically, and how to keep the peace even under pressure. But during this transit, you may realize that being admired is not the same as being fulfilled. You may want more emotional connection to your work, more heart in what you do, more purpose behind the effort, more space to succeed without pretending you are unaffected by everything. This can also bring support from bosses, mentors, parents, clients, or people in positions of influence. Someone may notice your value. Someone may appreciate your care, your creativity, your professionalism, or the emotional intelligence you bring into your work. And if there has been tension in a professional relationship, Venus in Cancer can help soften the atmosphere. Conversations may become more human. People may be more willing to cooperate, forgive, or understand where you are coming from. In love, this transit can make relationships more connected to your future. You may think more seriously about commitment, reputation, family approval, long-term plans, or whether someone fits into the life you are trying to build. If you are single, attraction could come through work, public spaces, professional connections, or someone who admires your ambition. You may be drawn to someone caring, mature, protective, established, or emotionally steady. But be careful not to confuse security with status. Venus in Cancer does not want a relationship that only looks impressive. It wants something that feels safe behind closed doors, something real, something warm, something that supports the person you are when no one is watching. This transit may also bring up old emotional patterns around success. Maybe you learned to be pleasing in order to be accepted. Maybe you felt you had to appear capable all the time. Maybe you became very good at presenting calm, even when your inner world was not calm at all. Venus in Cancer reminds you that softness does not weaken your authority. You can be kind and still powerful. You can be sensitive and still respected. You can care deeply and still lead well. For Libra Rising, the gift of this transit is learning how to bring more heart into your ambition. You do not have to separate your emotional life from your public life completely. You do not have to become cold to be taken seriously. Your warmth may actually be the thing that makes people trust you more. So use this period to refine your direction. Choose goals that feel emotionally honest. Let your career reflect your values. Let your public image become warmer, more authentic, and more connected to the truth of who you are. And remember, success is not only about being seen. It is about being seen for something that still feels meaningful when you come home to yourself. And if you want to understand your own chart more deeply, please book a consultation and visit the Rising Path website. Also, if this video helps you, please like and subscribe to the channel. Scorpio Rising, Venus entering Cancer moves through your 9th house, the part of your chart connected to travel, wisdom, higher learning, faith, publishing, teaching, spirituality, foreign places, big picture thinking, and the beliefs that guide your life. This is a beautiful shift because Venus in Cancer forms a supportive water sign connection to your Scorpio ascendant. So even if this transit brings deep feelings, it can also feel emotionally natural for you. It speaks your language, intuition, depth, memory, loyalty, and the unseen emotional layers behind everything. But the 9th house does not want you to stay where you are. It wants your heart to expand. During Venus in Cancer, love may begin to feel connected to growth. You may be drawn to people, places, teachings, cultures, or experiences that open something inside you. A conversation could change your perspective. A trip could feel healing. A book, class, spiritual practice, or a teacher may touch something emotional that you did not even realize needed attention. For Scorpio Rising, this can be a transit where your beliefs become more personal. Not what you were told to believe, not what fear taught you to expect, not what old pain convinced you was true, but what your soul knows when it feels safe enough to open again. Cancer energy brings memory into the picture, so you may start reflecting on how your past has shaped your faith in life. Maybe there were moments that made you more guarded. Maybe you stopped expecting good things because disappointment trained you to prepare for loss. Maybe your emotional world became smaller because trusting life felt too risky. Venus in your 9th house gently asks you to imagine more. Not in a fake positive way. In a real, grounded, heart-led way. What if life can still surprise you? What if love does not always have to arrive through intensity, crisis, or survival? What if peace can be just as powerful as passion? In relationships, this transit can bring attraction through travel, education, spiritual spaces, online connections, long distance situations, or people from different backgrounds. You may be drawn to someone who feels emotionally wise, nurturing, cultured, intuitive, or connected to a world beyond your usual environment. If you are already in a relationship, this can be a wonderful time to step out of routine together. Travel if you can. Learn something together. Talk about dreams, beliefs, family, the future, and what gives your relationship meaning beyond daily life. Scorpio Rising needs emotional depth, but Venus in Cancer reminds you that depth does not always have to be heavy. Sometimes intimacy grows through laughter on a trip, a quiet night talking about life, a shared meal in a new place, or realizing that someone respects both your sensitivity and your strength. This transit can also be powerful for writing, teaching, content creation, publishing, astrology, spirituality, coaching, mentoring, or sharing your emotional wisdom with others. Your words may carry more feeling now. Your perspective may help people feel understood. Something you have lived through could become a message that guides someone else. But be mindful of clinging too tightly to one emotional truth. Cancer can be protective, and Scorpio can be fixed. Together, this can sometimes make it hard to release a belief once it has been emotionally attached to pain. If you notice yourself saying, "This always happens," or "People are always like this," pause. That may not be truth. That may be an old wound trying to sound wise. Venus in Cancer is here to soften your worldview without making you naive. You can keep your discernment and still let life feel beautiful again. You can remember the past without letting it become the border around your future. For some Scorpio rising people, this transit may also bring a strong desire to reconnect with ancestry, homeland, family traditions, spiritual roots, or places that feel emotionally significant. You may want to understand where you come from, not only physically, but spiritually and psychologically. This can be healing, because the ninth house is not only about going far away. Sometimes it is about finding meaning in where you have already been. The gift of Venus in Cancer for you is emotional expansion. It helps you trust your intuition while opening your heart to new experiences. It reminds you that wisdom is not only built through pain. It can also come through beauty, tenderness, devotion, and the courage to believe in something better. So let your world become larger during this transit. Say yes to the places, ideas, and conversations that nourish your spirit. Let love teach you something. Let beauty restore your faith. And let your heart remember that there is still more life ahead than the story your past may have written for you. And if you want to understand your own chart more deeply, please book a consultation and visit the Rising Path website. Also, if this video helps you, please like and subscribe to the channel. Sagittarius Rising. Venus entering Cancer settles into your 8th house. And this is not a light surface level transit for you. The 8th house rules intimacy, trust, shared money, emotional merging, secrets, vulnerability, debts, inheritance, psychological healing, obsession, fear, desire, and the deeper bonds we form when we let someone pass the version of us that the world usually sees. Sagittarius Rising is usually associated with movement, honesty, freedom, exploration, humor, truth, and the need to keep life open. You do not like feeling trapped, emotionally controlled, or pulled into situations that feel too heavy for too long. But Venus in Cancer brings your attention to the places where love requires more than optimism. This transit asks for depth. It asks for trust. It asks whether you can stay present when something becomes emotionally real. In relationships, this can intensify closeness. Feelings may deepen quickly. Attraction may become more private, and a connection may start touching places in you that are not easy to explain. You may crave more loyalty, more devotion, more honesty, and more emotional proof that someone is truly with you, not just around for the easy parts. If you are in a relationship, this can be a powerful time for deeper bonding. Conversations may move into topics like shared finances, fears, commitment, family wounds, jealousy, emotional needs, or what both of you need in order to feel secure together. This is not always comfortable, but it can be very healing. because Venus here can help difficult conversations happen with more tenderness. Instead of avoiding the deeper issue, you may finally be able to talk about what has been underneath the surface. If you are single, attraction may feel magnetic during this transit. You may be drawn to someone mysterious, emotionally intense, protective, private, or deeply intuitive. But take your time. The eighth house can create strong chemistry, and strong chemistry can sometimes make something feel destined before it has proven itself stable. So enjoy the pull, but do not ignore your wisdom. Not every intense connection is a healthy one, and not every person who awakens desire is ready to offer trust. Financially, Venus in Cancer can bring focus to shared resources. This can include money with a partner, taxes, loans, debts, credit, investments, insurance, commissions, settlements, family money, or financial support that comes through another person. There may be a chance to improve something here, receive support, renegotiate an agreement, or bring more care and cooperation into a financial matter. But because Cancer is connected to emotions, avoid making money decisions from fear, guilt, nostalgia, or pressure. The eighth house also deals with what we carry privately. Old grief, old betrayal, old survival patterns, old stories about what happens when we trust someone too much. And for Sagittarius Rising, this transit may reveal where your desire for freedom has sometimes been a way to avoid feeling emotionally exposed. That does not mean your independence is wrong. Your independence is one of your strengths. But Venus in Cancer asks a deeper question. Can you be free and still let someone know you fully? Can you be independent without running the moment intimacy becomes complicated? Can you tell the truth not only about what you believe, but about what scares you? This is where the transit becomes powerful, because the eighth house is not here to make love easy. It is here to make love honest. You may realize that vulnerability does not have to be a cage. With the right person, it can become a doorway, a place where you do not have to joke your way out of pain, explain everything philosophically, or pretend you are fine before you actually are. This can also be a beautiful period for therapy, spiritual cleansing, shadow work, energy healing, deep journaling, ancestral work, or any practice that helps you understand your emotional patterns more clearly. Something buried may come up, not to punish you, but to be loved back into the light. For Sagittarius Rising, Venus in Cancer is teaching that real intimacy does not take away your power. It gives you a place to stop performing strength and finally be met. So during this transit, be careful with your heart, but do not close it completely. Be honest about money. Be honest about desire. Be honest about what you need in order to trust. And if a relationship, memory, or emotional pattern asks to be healed, do not run from it too quickly. There may be gold underneath the fear. There may be tenderness underneath the defense. There may be a deeper kind of love waiting on the other side of the conversation you have been avoiding. And if you want to understand your own chart more deeply, please book a consultation and visit the Rising Path website. Also, if this video helps you, please like and subscribe to the channel. Capricorn Rising, Venus entering Cancer moves into your seventh house, the house of relationships, commitment, marriage, partnership, clients, contracts, agreements, and the people who stand directly across from you. So this transit puts the spotlight on connection, not casual connection, not surface level attention. This is about the kind of bond where two people have to meet each other honestly. Capricorn Rising often carries a strong, composed energy. You may be the person who handles responsibility, thinks long-term, stays practical, and keeps going even when life feels heavy. You can be incredibly loyal, but you may not always show your softer emotions right away. Sometimes you protect your heart by staying controlled, busy, or focused on what needs to be done. But Venus in Cancer enters the relationship area of your chart and says, you do not always have to be the strong one. You do not always have to manage everything alone. You are allowed to need tenderness too. This transit can bring more warmth into your relationships. If you are partnered, this is a good time to soften the atmosphere between you and someone important. Affection may return more easily. Conversations can become more caring. A relationship that has felt too practical, distant, or routine may need more emotional presence now. Cancer does not want love that only functions well on paper. Cancer wants love that feels safe. So during this transit, the question becomes, do your closest relationships actually nourish you? Do you feel emotionally protected, or are you only being responsible? Do you feel met, or are you always the one holding everything together? This can be a beautiful time for commitment, reconciliation, deeper bonding, or simply remembering why you chose someone in the first place. Small gestures matter now. A thoughtful message, a quiet dinner, a sincere apology, a moment of vulnerability. These things can carry more weight than grand performances. If you are single, Venus in your seventh house can make you more magnetic to potential partners. People may approach you more easily, or you may attract someone who feels nurturing, emotionally intelligent, family-oriented, or protective. But because this is Cancer energy, attraction may not come through loud excitement. It may come through comfort, through familiarity, through someone who makes you feel like you can finally exhale. And that may surprise you, because Capricorn Rising can sometimes be drawn to people who respect your strength. But this transit asks whether someone can also respect your sensitivity. Do they make room for your feelings? Do they listen when you are not okay? Do they understand that your calm exterior does not mean you have no emotional needs? This is also a strong transit for business partnerships, clients, collaborations, negotiations, and one-on-one work. Venus can make people more cooperative, more receptive, and more willing to meet you halfway. If you need to smooth over tension, improve an agreement, attract clients, or build a stronger professional alliance, this transit can help. Just be careful not to agree to something only to keep the peace. Cancer can be protective, but it can also avoid direct confrontation when emotions are involved. And Capricorn Rising may already feel responsible for keeping things stable. Together, that can create a pattern where you stay polite while quietly carrying resentment. So speak honestly, not harshly, not defensively, but clearly. The right people will not fall apart just because you have needs. This transit may also reveal the emotional pattern you bring into commitment. Maybe you learned to be dependable before you learned how to ask for comfort. Maybe you became used to proving your worth through effort. Maybe love, for you, has sometimes felt connected to duty, loyalty, or endurance. Venus in Cancer reminds you that love should not only be something you maintain, it should also be something that feeds you. There is a difference between a relationship that lasts and a relationship that truly cares for the people inside it. For Capricorn Rising, this transit can be deeply healing because Cancer rules your partnership house. You may discover that the kind of love you need is not cold, rushed, or emotionally unavailable. You need connection with heart. You need someone who honors your ambition but also knows when to pull you close and remind you that you are human. So let yourself receive more during this transit. Let people show up for you. Let partnership be a place of softness, not another responsibility on your list. And if a relationship needs a more honest conversation, have it with maturity and care. Venus in Cancer is not asking you to lower your standards. It is asking you to make sure your standards include emotional safety, tenderness, loyalty, and real mutual care. Because for Capricorn Rising, this transit is about remembering that love is not only built through effort. Sometimes love is built through presence, through listening, through choosing each other gently, especially when life feels hard. And if you want to understand your own chart more deeply, please book a consultation and visit the Rising Path website. Also, if this video helps you, please like and subscribe to the channel. Aquarius Rising, Venus entering Cancer moves through your sixth house, the part of your chart connected to daily routines, work habits, health, service, responsibilities, pets, co-workers, and the small choices that shape your quality of life. This is not the most dramatic house for Venus, but it can be one of the most useful. Because for Aquarius Rising, this transit is less about chasing a grand romantic fantasy and more about improving the way your everyday life feels. Venus in Cancer asks, is your routine actually supporting you? Is your work environment emotionally healthy? Are you caring for your body or only pushing it to keep up? Are you giving too much to people who treat your help like an expectation? Aquarius Rising can be visionary, independent, mentally sharp, and future-focused. You may spend a lot of time thinking about bigger ideas, future plans, communities, systems, or what needs to change in the world around you. But Venus in Cancer pulls your attention back into the present moment. Your meals, your rest, your workspace, your body, your emotional rhythm, the way you feel when you wake up and move through an ordinary day. This transit reminds you that peace is not only found in major life breakthroughs. Sometimes peace begins with a cleaner schedule, a softer morning, a better boundary, a healthier habit, or no longer saying yes when your body is asking for quiet. In work, Venus in Cancer can help improve relationships with coworkers, clients, employees, or the people you deal with regularly. The atmosphere may become more cooperative, especially if you bring warmth into practical conversations. Small acts of kindness can go far now. But this transit can also reveal where you feel emotionally drained by service. If you've been the person who fixes everything, handles everyone's needs, or quietly carries extra work, Venus in Cancer may make you more aware of the emotional cost. You may realize that being helpful does not mean being endlessly available. This is especially important for Aquarius Rising because you can care deeply while still appearing detached. People may not always know when you are tired, overwhelmed, or emotionally stretched. So during this transit, do not wait for others to guess what you need. Say it clearly. Protect your time. Let your daily life become more humane. In love, Venus in your 6th house brings affection through consistency. Romance may not feel loud or theatrical right now. It may show up through someone checking on you, helping with a task, remembering your routine, bringing food, supporting your health, or making your life easier in small but meaningful ways. If you are in a relationship, this is a good time to look at how love functions in real life. Not only the chemistry, not only the big conversations, but the daily care. Do you help each other? Do you make life softer for each other? Do you feel emotionally considered in the ordinary moments? Because that is where Venus in Cancer does its quiet magic. If you are single, attraction could come through work, daily errands, wellness spaces, volunteering, or someone connected to your everyday environment. You may be drawn to someone kind, thoughtful, emotionally gentle, or quietly dependable. Just be careful not to fall into a rescuer role. Cancer energy can want to nurture, and the 6th house wants to help. Together, they can make you more likely to overfunction in love. You may start caring for someone, managing their problems, or proving your affection by being useful. But love should not require you to become someone's emotional employee. You can support people without losing yourself in their needs. This transit is also excellent for making your environment more beautiful and calming. Improve your workspace. Create a better health routine. Cook more nourishing meals. Spend time with pets. Clear emotional clutter from your schedule. Add softness to the parts of life that have become too mechanical. For Aquarius Rising, Venus in Cancer teaches that emotional well-being is built through repetition. The way you treat yourself every day matters. The way you organize your time matters. The people you interact with regularly matter. The habits you tolerate matter. So use this transit to make your daily life feel less cold, less rushed, and less disconnected from your heart. You do not need to transform everything overnight. Start with the small things that bring comfort back into your body and calm back into your nervous system. Because sometimes the most healing love is not dramatic at all. Sometimes it is practical, a better rhythm, a kinder routine, a person who shows up, a life that finally gives you room to breathe. And if you want to understand your own chart more deeply, please book a consultation and visit the Rising Path website. Also, if this video helps you, please like and subscribe to the channel. Pisces Rising, Venus entering Cancer moves through your 5th house, one of the most beautiful places for Venus to be. This is the house of romance, creativity, joy, pleasure, dating, children, art, self-expression, passion, and the part of you that remembers life is not only something to survive, it is also something to feel, enjoy, and create from. And because Cancer is a fellow water sign, this transit can feel emotionally natural for you. It opens the heart. It brings color back into your spirit. It reminds you that love does not always have to be complicated, sacrificial, or confusing. Sometimes love can be simple, warm, playful, sweet, honest, something that makes you feel more alive instead of more drained. For Pisces Rising, this is a romantic transit, but not in a shallow way. Venus in Cancer wants emotional chemistry. It wants affection with feeling behind it. It wants the kind of connection where laughter, tenderness, memory, and vulnerability all mix together. If you are single, this can bring more attention, flirtation, dating opportunities, or attraction to people who feel gentle, caring, artistic, protective, or familiar in some way. Someone may awaken your softer side. Someone may make you want to open your heart again. But the important thing is this: do not fall in love with potential more than reality. Pisces Rising can sometimes see the soul of a person before seeing their behavior clearly. You may sense what someone could become, what they are carrying, or what is beautiful underneath the surface. That compassion is powerful. But Venus in Cancer asks you to stay close to what is actually happening. Does this person make you feel safe? Do they show care consistently? Do they bring peace to your heart? Or do they only activate longing? Because this transit can be very romantic, but it should not pull you into fantasy at the cost of your emotional well-being. If you are already in a relationship, Venus in your 5th house can help bring sweetness back. This is a time for dates, affection, creativity, playfulness, laughter, and remembering the joy between you. Not every conversation has to be heavy. Not every bond has to be analyzed until it loses its magic. Do something beautiful together. Cook, dance, watch a movie, take a small trip, make something, share memories. Be affectionate without turning everything into a problem to solve. This transit is also wonderful for creative work. If you write, paint, sing, design, perform, make videos, read astrology, create content, or express yourself in any artistic way, Venus in Cancer can bring inspiration from emotion. Your creativity may come through nostalgia, dreams, family stories, childhood memories, love, heartbreak, or the deep private world inside you. You may create something that feels tender and personal, and that is exactly what makes it powerful. For Pisces Rising, the 5th house is also connected to confidence. Not the loud kind of confidence, the soulful kind. The kind that comes from allowing yourself to be seen through what you love. This transit reminds you that your joy matters. Your art matters. Your pleasure matters. Your heart does not always need to be in healing mode. Sometimes growth happens when you let yourself enjoy life without guilt. You may also feel more connected to children, parenting themes, your inner child, or memories of who you were before life taught you to protect your sensitivity. Venus in Cancer may bring back old dreams, old hobbies, or simple pleasures that used to make you feel happy. Pay attention to that. Something innocent in you may be asking to return. The only caution is emotional overattachment. Cancer can hold on, and Pisces can merge. So if romance, creativity, or desire becomes intense, keep one foot on the ground. Let things unfold naturally. You do not need to lose yourself inside someone else's story to feel loved. For Pisces Rising, Venus in Cancer is a reminder that love should not erase you. It should bring more of you back. More softness, more laughter, more inspiration, more trust in your own heart. So let this transit be beautiful. Let it bring romance, art, pleasure, and emotional warmth into your life. Let yourself be moved by music, beauty, affection, and the small moments that make your spirit feel young again. You are allowed to want sweetness. You are allowed to be adored. You are allowed to create something simply because it makes your heart feel full. And if you want to understand your own chart more deeply, please book a consultation and visit the Rising Path website. Also, if this video helps you, please like and subscribe to the channel.